Welcome back, I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be playing some more Black-White or Orzhov Kaya Control. So this is a deck that I've been playing around with for a number of weeks now. We've played a couple iterations. So this is the updated version that I'm going with. The cut we did was Conglomerate, I think it's called, or Consecrate Consume. I overall haven't been too pleased with the card. 4 mana on sorcery speed, like it's okay against like Carnage Tyrant, but the first half is very useless to me. I very seldomly have used it. So we went up a third Seraph of the Scales. I've always been happy either as an attacker to close out the game or just as 3 bodies to block. It also gives us value if we do have to board wipe once we have creatures out. The rest of the deck's pretty stable from the previous versions. Our win conditions are 2 Dawn of Hopes, 2 Kayas, 3 Seraphs, Lyra, Eldest Reborn, or Karn. And then we just have a mixed removal package. Our sweepers are 2 Kaya's Wrath, 1 Settle, and 1 Cleansing Nova. We're playing 4 of Mortify, 2 Cast Down, 2 Seal Aways, and a Moment of Craving. Still 50-50 on Seal Aways. Might opt to make it a Cry of Carnarium or just maybe like another Cast Down. But we'll give it a shot. We'll play some more best of 1 with the deck. The sideboard itself, I haven't really been playing too much with it. I've been having a lot of success in best of 1 with it. Preying on like mono blue, mono red, or any creature based decks. You see more control I find in best of 3, and anything with counters tends to be a little bit better against our deck. We could bring in like the Duresses, but we're basically like a slower Esper deck without the interaction of counter spells to play at instant speed or the additional card draw. So we'll play this as a best of 1 deck. That's where I feel like it's best suited. So we'll give it a couple rounds going with it. So as we get started, if you haven't done so already and you're looking for a free and easy way to support the channel, if you hit the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner, it goes a long way to helping out the channel and be greatly appreciated. So this hand's not bad. We can Memorial on 1, Treasure Map on 2, and then we have a Sweeper and Settle the Wreckage to catch up, or if they're just playing a singular threat, we can Ixalan's Binding it against, say, like a Drake stack, or if they drop an early Planeswalker. I found that with this deck, like being able to play Field of Ruin helps against like a Scanta or some of the other decks. Not having to shock yourself that much also keeps your life total higher against like mono red or aggro decks, and the incidental life gain does go a long way. So Blood Crypt could be a couple different decks right now. Could be like the Black-Red Midrange. Could be some of the Jund aggro decks. Could be Mardu Aristocrats. So we'll have to wait to see what they've kind of follow up with. So we put a stop on our upkeep so we can surveil or scry. Waiting to see what the opponent does here. So they play Kite Sail. It's a little unfortunate. They'll likely take the Settle here. Oh, they take the Ixalan's Binding. So here we don't want any more lands. Eldest Reborn's not bad. Just gonna put the Godless Shrine in tap. The opponent's seen our hand. So they play Midnight Reaper. So this looks like a smaller creature Rakdos Midrange deck, which we should be pretty favorable against. So we don't want any more lands. Lyra should probably clean up here. So I'm going to Field of Ruin on the end step just to fix our mana. get another white source. So opponent bedevils here, which is fine. I'm actually not going to do it now that they tapped. I don't want to give them the untapped 2 mana. Second Lyra here is really good. If they do have more removal in the main, they could blow it on that. And we can follow up with Eldest Reborn. So Siege Gang Commander is a way that they can spend their mana to kill Lyra. So I'm going to gain the life here. And play out the other Seraph of the Scales. So this kind of forces them to spend the mana to take out Lyra. And then the Angel package in here is a good way for us to turn the corner fairly quickly. So they have the Ravenous Chupacabra, likely take out the Lyra, which is fine. We'll see if they have any attacks. So land there is great because now we can play a Lyra. Give this Vigilance, attack in. Gain 5 and then still have both blockers back. So they are one short for mana short from shooting down the Lyra. But they do have to be conscious as well with Midnight Reaper. It's actually a detriment right now in some extent because they are going to be taking 3 damage, so they're weak in the air. So they're going to hit the Lyra here. They might have like a lightning strike or another spell in hand. See if they have the land. Okay, so they Carnival. So I'm going to take the damage here. We'll pay the 1 for the Vigilance here. Attack in. And we'll just get the Eldest Reborn going. So this forces them to either sack the Goblin so they can't shoot it, or get rid of like a Chupacabra. And this will give us a chance to get back one of our Lyras, and we still have Settle afterwards. Them blowing the Carnival side as opposed to the Carnage was actually pretty good for us because they would have made us discard 2 valuable cards in the matchup. So here, I'm just going to take it. We're presenting lethal, and we can Ixalan's Binding the Siege Gang Commander if they, because they're going to be able to block here. Or we can just so that does give them a chance to block. So here, Cleansing Nova is pretty solid. So I'm actually not going to attack. Shouldn't have done the Vigilance. Just going to board wipe here. The reason is I want to be left with the tokens afterwards. If we attack, they likely block with the spawn, and then that way we don't get the tokens after. So you can see against like creature decks, so they're sacrificing here to blow up the Midnight Reaper, otherwise they were dead. But we are presenting lethal with the spirits that remain. So unless they have some sort of removal spell, so they could block one of them. So here, I actually like just taking Siege Gang here. We can go wide on our own end. Opponent's forced into sacking, and then we can follow up with Dawn of Hope. Oh. And we'll also just Ixalan's binding the Siege Gate Commander. An opponent concedes. We also have the option with Memorial of Folly to buy back one of our angels if we ran out of gas. But we had that game won quite a few ways. So it was an impressive showing. And like I said, we're favored in most matchups versus creatures. We have a lot of resilient threats and just hard to deal with like must answer win conditions compared to like a normal control deck. So this hand's good. We got a bunch of removal if need be, Revitalize to get us further ahead to hit more lands. Depending on the matchup, we have Seraph to close it out pretty quick. So against like mono blue, this hand's really good. Still could be mono blue, could be Drakes. Hinterland Harbor. This might be like Teamer Control. Karn's pretty good as well. Really want to see another line drop. We have two looks at it with the Revitalize. Not a land. Okay, so we hit the land, which is good. Pass the turn. Fairy Duelist. That's fine. This might be some sort of blue-green tempo. So I'm actually... We'll wait. Take the 1 damage. Let's see what they do here. If they're willing to counter. Just want to try to get them to tap out on their turn. Not a land. The good thing is our opponent's not pressuring us. So until they kind of come out with something where... Okay, because we're going to have to discard here. We're better able to get Karn, or like Seraph back with Memorial of Folly, so it resolves. See what the opponent has. They can make a pretty large Crisis. So they play Entrancing Melodies. When it dies, they get the tokens. Do we want Karn here? They could attack it. I think we do Karn. They likely give us the land here. So they opt not for the land. Lyra's pretty good here. So we'll try to get out a treasure map, see if we can get a counter spell out of their hands. It's fine. So we're going to seal away. So they have the Syncopate. We're just going to take the land here, and then we have Cast Down for next turn. We're doing this, although they're tapped out, we're going to do this on their turn so that the tokens they get don't have haste, so we have another activation to Karn. So they play Furled Mystic, which is fine. We can actually Ixalan's Binding the Furled Mystic, which is pretty good. And then follow up with a Dawn of Hope. We're doing this on the Mystic. They're likely playing 4 of, and this is a counterspell that can't put pressure on us. We're still at 22 life, so we're pretty far ahead. This does leave us a little weak to Syncopate if they had it, but I think we need to jam out our threats. We have 3 good win conditions in hand as well. So this looks just like a blue-green flash deck. So we'll let the opponent have to answer on their turn. We'll try to cast down the Seraph. And then just make a Dawn of Hope token. So we'll try the cast down here. Opponent really hasn't drawn additional cards, so there's been no Chemister's Insight or anything like that. And us forcing them to use the mana on their turn. So it's not bad. And we'll make a token here, so we actually net a life. And they play out a big Hydroid Crisis. So here we'll play out Lyra. Play the land tapped. So if they have another Entrancing Melody, it's bad for us. So they can also get around. So we need to find a board wipe here. Vraska's Contempt is pretty good. So we need to decide what we're contempting here. So they have Eldest Reborn, they sack one of these tokens. They have 1, 6, 10, 12. They have Xaxes. I think we get rid of the Krasis for now. If we get a board wipe, we're going to want to play it. These Entrancing Melodies have been really good against us. So here, I think we got to draw a card. Treasure map doesn't help. We were looking for one of our 4 sweepers. Yeah, so they had the Syncopate. So opponent got us. The Entrancing Melodies just got us on the back foot. Made it hard for us to catch up. It's actually a pretty sweet deck. I always like the flash archetypes, just being able to play on your opponent's turn. I think we'll try that deck out. Seems pretty cheap as well in terms of just wild cards in that. You're just playing some tempo cards. Sounds good. I usually like leading on the plains to make the opponent think we're playing a different type of deck. So we are weak if they have Mortify, but if they have Mortify, they have it. This looks like Esper. So this would be like the tougher matchup for us. You can grind it, but it's probably like 70-30 on them. So if we could stick the Dawn of Hope for one more turn before they have the Mortify, it'd be good. At least get out a threat. Force them to burn some sort of removal on that instead of our Angels. Kaya's pretty good in this matchup. Nah, so they have the Mortify. So now we're pretty far behind. Like the Cleansing Novas are pretty good as a mirror breaker because we can blow up Search for Scantas. But other than that, especially in best of 1, we have a lot of dead cards. They can use like Chemister's Insights into Fairies. We'll see. If we don't draw anything this turn, then we'll just concede this one. Just to get another game in. Yeah. Like, we do have ways we could grind it out, but with us not having it in hand and no real pressure with an active Teferi, they're just going to grind us out. And that's an important lesson, I think, for just first playing against Control, is knowing when the game is over. Like, the Control player will eventually beat you. Teferi on board with no pressure, and then being able to hold up mana is usually enough. So this hand is really good against aggro, and against Control it'll at least allow us to cycle into more lands. Watery Grave could be a couple different decks. Looks like Esper again. So we can Mortify this, which is good. I'm actually going to play the treasure map on 2. Just before they can get counter magic up. So I'm actually not going to scry on 1. Oh, okay, so now we will. They're going to take the Mortify. If they didn't, because they're less likely to have a counter on 2 than they would with on 3. We're likely to draw more lands with Revitalize. Kaya is really good here. So hopefully dodge a turn. We want to try to find a Mortify as well, but if we get Kaya down, it could at least slow down Search for Azcanta. So opponent opts to get rid of the other Thought Erasure. So they did miss a land drop. I don't want to jam Kaya out just yet. So that's good, we'll keep it on top. Draw for our turn. We'll Revitalize, try to find another land. Alright, so we're both stuck on mana. We'll flip the treasure map anyways because it can give us that extra mana we need. So best case we find a land and then try to Mortify on their end step. Don't want Lyra. Perfect. So if they tap out for Chemister's Insight, we blow up the Search for Azcanta. If they don't, then we try it on their turn. They'll likely counter it, then we untap with Kaya. Same if they play land and opt to go for Teferi, we'll blow up the Azcanta. So we're not in the worst position here. See if we can get it to stick. Okay, so they have the negate. So play out the field here. Play out the Kaya. So we also have the field as insurance in case they do manage to fill the graveyard fast enough. Probably worthwhile. Now that they only have 2 mana up, if they want to spend removal on it, they can. But it'll take at least 2 removal spells in terms of 2 board wipes. And then them actively putting stuff in the graveyard fuels Kaya's ultimate, so we can try to close out the game a little faster. Even if they play a Teferi here, they can try to tuck Kaya, but then we have the Seraph still to kill it. So they play Vraska's Contempt. Not the worst. So we're going to give it Vigilance. Not sure if they're playing Cast Down or Seal Away in the deck. So Revitalize here. Just want to try to find more colored lands. Us drawing both our Kaya's Wraths is a little awkward. Karn's pretty good here. So here I'm just going to attack in. They play Cast Down, that's fine. So we need to decide now if we want to try to jam out a Karn. They haven't shown any Absorb yet, so it's a little iffy. Let's try to find some more action. I want to save the Eldest Reborn for when they have a Planeswalker. Let's try the Karn here. We're eventually going to have to get through these counter spells. I don't want to commit another creature to the board because they're forced to have to board wipe right now against the spirits. Karn coming down is pretty good. Likely give us the Revitalize here. So they give us the Vraska's Contempt, which is interesting. So they Moment of Craving one of our creatures. So they spent so far 2 removal spells on what we've played as 1 creature. Warrant and Warden. Seems pretty good to at least get a threat out. Them showing this to us too also makes us value our Wraths a bit more. So it's important here to plus Karn first before showing them they have a land. This might incentivize them to give us a spell. So both cards are good here. So they give us the Dawn of Hope. Let's attack in first. Play out the Dawn of Hope, see if we could draw out a counter here. So they Insight. And we'll end the turn. They're at 6 cards, so they can flip a Scanta. We will proceed to Field of Ruin it. We'll do it on our turn, or their turn, because it forces them to tap out. We'll see what they play here. I may opt to Dawn of Hope this turn first, just to get 2 power into the board. Just that increases the clock a little faster and then allows us to draw some cards. Opponent shocks themselves here. So they thought erasure. So this might signify Teferi plus a counterspell. So we'll just make a token here. So this forces them to either use a Scanta now and then tap out some mana. Also allows us to get another white source. Actually, probably another black source. So they opt to not search for a Scanta here, which is interesting. So they mortify the Dawn of Hope here. Do I want to fight for this? Or do I want to make a token? Probably not. We'll plus Karn here. Both cards are good for us. Just have that enter tapped. So I think they've got both of our Dawn of Hopes. No, just one. So we still have another Dawn of Hope. We do have a couple removal spells as well, which is nice. I'm going to start down ticking Karn now, just to speed up the clock. And then just hold up Arch of Orazca. Kaya's good here. So we'll attack with both. So I want to just tax their mana. By doing this, they don't get to Chemister's Insight. So they're either forced to counter this and not Insight for more answers to the board, while we still put pressure on them. So they have the negate. That's fine. Pass the turn. Next turn we down tick Karn again. It gives us another, it increases the power of the constructs. Kaya's Wraths here is fine. So again, it's just about putting pressure on the opponent. Like, they can't Chemister's Insight if they want to counter Lyra. So they play Absorb. And still, we just want to put some pressure. We don't want to allow him to get back into the game. We've actually outdrawn the Esper deck so far. So they'll likely try to tuck Karn here. So they opt not to. So we're going to try to Vraska's Contempt. Because then we can down tick, get the Ixalan's Binding on Teferi. They know about the Contempt too. Waiting on the opponent. See what they do. So they're running out of cards here. So we're going to do this before they get the land untap. They have Absorb mana up anyways. Okay, so they have the Absorb. We'll just get the Ixalan's Binding. And now they have no counter spells in hand. Ixalan's Binding Teferi is pretty good. Other than Mortify to get it back, they can't, like, new Teferis are just dead cards. Mortify is not bad against stuff like Search for a Scanta if they play it. If they play any of their own bindings. If they play a binding, target our binding, we could respond to the trigger on the stack so they don't get the Teferi back. So they're digging now. They basically have 2 looks with Insight, discarding whatever's here. One Mortify. So we've only seen 1 Mortify out of them. So they're digging. We got at least another turn. And this is why I like playing control decks with a couple more proactive threats. In the mirror, like our opponent, if they can't get their Teferi down, or this might be playing 1 of Chromium. Like, Chromium in itself I don't like as a win condition. It could protect itself from hexproof, but your opponent's generally sandbagging a lot of like board wipes or stuff like that. So opponent's giving us the rope. We'll see what's happening on their end. opponent's down to their last time out. Might have been a disconnect issue, or they're just wasting our time. Okay, so they pass through their turn. Gonna make another construct. Attack in. Play out a land and pass the turn. And now we can just basically draw a spell each turn with, or draw a card each turn with the Arch of Orazca. Opponent might just time out. Kind of hoping they do, just because we pretty much have this game wrapped up, and if they're just gonna slow things down. Alright, so opponent times out, concedes, whatever you want to call it. So that was a really good win for the deck against probably our toughest matchup in Esper Control. So let me know what you think in the comments below the deck, any changes you'd recommend. And if you haven't done so already, if you want to support the channel for free, hit that subscribe button. It'd be really appreciated if you can. Thanks for watching and have a great one.